Supposedly I'm live. There we go. Let's make sure that sound is off. Hey there, welcome to Izzo's Place. Even if no one's watching yet, I will be able to look at the chat because I got my little phone playing there. But I haven't been the most consistent with, hey Barry Place, hey Bob, how you doing? You guys should check out Barry Place 28 if you want some sweet, sweet West Coast Disneyland, Knott's Berry Farms, whatever other adventures Bob does. And of course, he's also with the Parks Dreamers crew, another great channel to look at. Thanks for chiming in, Bob. Good to see you. But it's been forever since I was posting videos consistently, so I just figured let's do a live stream. Let's hang out. I'll tell you about my Eagle Rare barrel pick. We'll sip some things. We might put together some Legos. We'll see how the evening goes. And I just wanted to get my face out there again for you. So, howdy. All right, let's start looking at stuff I got on my trip. So, you know what? A little bit of preamble. So, my number got picked in the Sazerac barrel selection experience. So I was able. So I didn't win a barrel. I won the privilege of buying a barrel. So, Tom, welcome back. Thanks for your help earlier. I put the fridge on a surge protector so I can turn it on and off very easily. So hopefully, well, except for the train now in the background, hopefully the background noise is a little bit better. I'm sure you're picking up some static from the fluorescent lighting in here, but doing my best. Tom has an excellent channel. You get to see rocket launches sometimes. You get to see guitar works and dogs, and I had the privilege actually of working on a charity piece of charity. What word am I looking for? I'm losing it. Charity craftsmanship. Anyway, Tom made a guitar. Tom made an awesome guitar. A fella named Go and Shogi did some artwork for it. I got to build a case. It was quite fun. One of these days I'll remember to get some of the video going and show you parts of that project. But yeah, Tom's another great channel. Chalk Walk guitar. Hey, there you go. Thank you, Tom. And of course, Bob from Barry Place 28. He was influential in that Chalk Walk charity event. So thanks, guys. Thanks for being here. But anyway, so I won the right, the privilege, the honor, whatever. Basically, I get to buy a bunch of booze from Buffalo Trace. So, oh, cool. Thanks, Bob. So what you have to do is you have to get a retailer. If you don't, because legally Buffalo Trace can't sell me a barrel of Eagle Rare. So I had to get a retailer, and even though home to me is Ohio, but in my couple of 2, 3, 4 years of bourbon hunting, I have not really developed a relationship with any of the liquor stores up here. But part of the year, I live and work in Naples, Florida, and so there's a nice little mom and pop liquor store down there. If you're in the Naples area, it's Pepper's Wine and Spirits. The fellow there, Marty, he's open 11 to 11 every day. Hardworking man, and he's my retailer for this. So you work with a retailer. The poor retailer's forced to buy the barrel, and then I buy all the bottles off of him. But it is neat. They allow you to bring 7 friends with you, and or enemies, you know, whatever you choose if you like the drama. And you get to bring 7 other people, and you all get an extra long tour of Buffalo Trace, and then you get to do the tasting, and they give you a choice of 4 barrels. So they had the barrels sitting there for us. They already had the samples on a placemat, so we knew what sample was what, and then we could pick out as a group. And ultimately, everyone knew ultimately it was going to be my choice because I'm the one that won the barrel. But I wanted to kind of get a consensus. I didn't want to pick a barrel that everyone hated, so we argued it out for an hour, and then it was funny. I had kind of already decided on the barrel that we picked. It was barrel C, and our tour guide, who was also doing the tasting with us, he started asking us. He's like, "All right, we got to wrap it up." He's like, and he asked us for each one, A, B, C, and D. Who of us had that particular glass in last place? And the only letter that didn't have anyone hating it was C. But like I said, I had already picked C, so that's the one we went. Then Oh, that's right. So the samples. So Buffalo Trace Eagle Rare, it comes 90 proof. It's 10 year, at least 10 years old, and so they took the whiskey from the barrels and they proofed it down to 90, so that way what we were tasting would taste like what we're getting in the bottle. Although there is still going to be a little bit of chill filtration, so that's going to change the taste a little bit. I hope it doesn't change it too much. But after we picked our barrel and we all signed the barrel and took some pictures with the barrel, and I got to smack the, oh no, not yet though. Then they let us taste whiskey right out of the barrel. And whew, boy, howdy, barrel proof Eagle Rare 10-year. They seriously need to bottle that. It was glorious. It was some of the best stuff I've ever tried. So so then after we got our little taste of barrel proof Eagle Rare, so I smacked the bung into the bung hole, sealing up the barrel, and I will see it. I'll see the bottles sometime in February. The other cool thing, while they're forcing you to buy a whole barrel of whiskey, is I at least get the barrel. So I get to purchase the bottles from the retailer, and I get the barrel for free. So I have to decide if I'm going to do something crazy, like try to fill it up with something and age something, or if I'm going to turn it into a cabinet. I'm leaning towards just turning it into a cabinet, because I've been doing some experiments with some smaller barrels, and you lose a lot to evaporation. The results are usually pretty good, but I don't know, I'm scared about putting, like, I wonder how much of my collection would fit in a 53-gallon barrel anyway. But I don't know. I don't think I'll fill it up. I think I'll turn it into a project. I should. I shouldn't say this out loud. Well, I was about to say, if I was smart, Tom, I'd let you turn it into a guitar for me somehow. That could be fun. I don't know. There's a bunch of neat things we could do with that barrel. Let's see what else. So we got to go and have this experience. So before I tell you about the whole week that I was down in Kentucky, I'll go ahead and show you some of the stuff I picked up. Some of it's alcohol related, some of it's just like tchotchkes. All right, so from Four Roses, well, I bought a buddy a hat because he couldn't go on the tasting pick with us. But at Four Roses, this cracked me up, so I had to go ahead and get it. It's a rocks glass, but it's a candle, so it makes it look like an old-fashioned with some ice cubes in it. It doesn't smell like whiskey. I think making it smell like whiskey would have been a smarter idea. You know what? I'm going to light it. Should have thought of that. Be right back. Boy, there's a lot of trains going by. Who do we got? Rex Robinson, what is up, buddy? Yeah, maybe making a guitar is not the smartest thing. Oh, just in case, if you're gonna play with fire, do it safely. If you're a minor, do it under the supervision of your parents. I don't know what YouTube yells at you for anymore. So, all right. So yeah, so that was my little Four Roses. Let's see. Can you see that? Yeah, we'll leave it up there. Let's see how soon before I knock it off. Of course, if I knock it off, it'll probably damage a bottle of whiskey. I didn't get any whiskey from Four Roses because I have a Four Roses experiment. I didn't get this weekend. I've had this for a while. But Four Roses has 10 different recipes, so I want to taste my way through these and see which ones I like and which ones I don't. And I'm sure I'll like them all, but who else we got? Oh yeah, Tom is saying hello. Okay, next little bag. Okay, so the Buffalo Trace experience, picking out the Eagle Rare, that was highlight of Wednesday. So the next day is on Thursday. We stopped off at a place called LF Heritage, and they are their salesman Tom Morrow, salesman. That's probably I'm underselling what he does for that company. We're gonna call him a media master. So he sent out samples to many YouTube channels, and after I contacted him, he actually sent me a flight of samples, and I still have not edited that. You know what? I gotta edit that. Let's make sure I edit that for next Thursday. I'll put that review up next Thursday, Tom, if you're watching. But so on Thursday, the highlight of Thursday was visiting LF Heritage Distillery, I do have a couple of bottles from them. I ordered both of these on their website earlier, but they're a very small distillery, 2 buildings, but they have big dreams and they have good tasting juice. So we got to have a nice tour and a sit down with Andrew, their master blender, and got to get a bit of the history and a bit of what their hopes and dreams are. So down the road, they're hoping to have like a full-on resort right there at their distillery on their farmland there. And I can't remember how many generations. The farm's been in the family for a while. So eventually there's going to be a hotel. You'll be able to like stage your bourbon trips from that. So that was just a super pleasant stop on Thursday that we got to do. All right. Then the highlight on Friday for us was a little distillery called Whiskey Thief. Look at that. There's not even a name on the bag. Whiskey Thief Distillery. So what you do there is they take you on the tiniest of tours because it's just a single barn. There's not a lot going on there, and the tour is short and sweet. And the tour guide even said that that was his point. He's like, you guys, has everyone here been on a distillery tour? You have? Good. I won't waste your time. We do everything they do, just smaller. But then after you do the tour, you get a glass, you get a bourbon ball, a piece of chocolate with a walnut on it, and then you get to go and taste from 5 barrels directly from the barrel. They pull it out with the Whiskey Thief, which is like a glorified copper straw that they use to get the whiskey out. And then if you like one of them well enough, you can buy a bottle of it there. But Whiskey Thief whiskey, you're not going to find it on stores. You're not going to find it online. You're only going to find it if you go there and taste it. So of the 5 barrels, there was 4 bourbons and 1 rye, and the bourbons from barrel 1 to 4 just kept getting better. And probably objectively, the 4th barrel was probably the best of the 5. But this rye in barrel 5 was like the most perfect rye I'd ever tried. And so even though the bourbon was probably tastier, this was so good a rye, I needed to have a little 375 of it. And it comes in a fun little, oh, and there's like, hang on, I'll be right over. There's barrel char. You got to see the barrel char in it. Oh, and so when they're doing the samples, they get the whiskey out for you. But when you get a bottle, you actually get to thieve it out yourself. So let's see, where's the camera? So yeah, so there's floaters in there. But in this case, that's a good thing. That's bits of barrel. So there could even be just like a little more flavor being added as we go. So that was the highlight of Friday. But really, it didn't have a bad time at any of the distilleries we went to. We hit Wild Turkey, but Jimmy Russell was not in his chair, so I didn't get him to sign anything. Oh, but we went to Wild Turkey, so I could show you that bottle. Hold on. So I think this is a distillery-only release. So it's a Wild Turkey private selection. It's a single barrel. I think that this format might be replacing... I had one out the other day. Well, anyway, the Kentucky Spirit, the Wild Turkey Kentucky Spirit. I don't know what I did with any of mine to show you, but it's a similar bottle, but it's got a gold label instead. So they've discontinued that from what I've heard. Who do we got? Hey there, Chet. How you doing? And I think this might be maybe the start of replacing it. It's 101 proof, just like the Wild Turkey 101 and the Wild Turkey Kentucky Spirit, but it is very tasty. This came in for anyone that cares. Okay, Distillers Select 2025. So for anyone that cares, Warehouse Tyrone M and floor 5. I can't see. I can't see in the dim light. Floor 4. I'll just put that right there. Oh, thank you, Bill D. Thank you for being here. Bill is the man. What was I going to do? I'm talking too much. I'm going to get a sip of water. I know, isn't that weird that YouTube's been like freaking out with usernames lately? But somehow I'm always Izzo's place, no matter what YouTube is doing. All right, So we did Wild Turkey. We did Four Roses. You saw that. We went to Bullet. Did I buy anything at Bullet? I did not. I bought my wife some iron-on patches. That's all I bought there. What is this one? Okay, Jephthah Creed. Stopped at Jephthah Creed. That was right after Bullet, actually. And I did a flight there. I tasted 5 of their whiskeys, and I really enjoyed the single barrel reserve. This was like the second tier down. There was another one that was available that was I don't know if it was older or what was different about it, but it was more expensive. But I could barely taste the difference between this and the expensive one. So, of course, saved a little bit of money and got this. Column distilled with Thumper. I don't know, but I had never. I think I've seen Jephthah Creed, but I'd never bought one, and that was a pretty tasty pour, so had to go with it. Oh, this we just picked up at a Walmart. Found it cheaper than we usually. Well, yeah, found it cheaper than we usually find it in Ohio. What else? Oh, that's LF Heritage again. I bought a backup of their gray one. The gray one is so earthy tasting. Like, sometimes I almost feel like it tastes like clean dirt. Does that make sense? It doesn't make sense. That's all right. And of course, we did go to Buffalo Trace, and I got 2 Blantons, an Eagle Rare, a regular Buffalo Trace, an E.H. Taylor. But most of those I bought as for other people because I have enough of that stuff right now. But it's always neat to go to Buffalo Trace and see what they have. Let's see. One morning they did have a special single oak release, but I wasn't even on the road yet, and one of our party was in line, and while he was halfway through the crazy line, they already sold out. So nothing special for me. But I did pick up some stuff from Buffalo Trace besides some of the whiskey. So I went ahead. I don't know. I was just excited because we were doing the Eagle Rare pick. So I got myself a drink mixing mat with the good old Buffalo Trace logo on it. Probably should have bought Eagle Rare, but oh well. Also, as you know, sometimes there are plush things here. So, I mean, I'm sure it's really a dog toy. Even the tag says dog toy, but to me, it's just a plush bottle of Buffalo Trace. So that'll go on a shelf next to some real whiskey, just for fun. Boom. There, now you'll stay. And then, sadly enough, I keep forgetting to look. I already have a bottle of Buffalo Trace White Dog. So White Dog is basically whiskey when it comes off the still before they put it in a barrel to age it. Big E says hi. Woo! Big E, hi right back to you, buddy. And thanks for being here, Ruin. Nice. Sorry, Ruin. I didn't notice you. You were mixed in there. Anyway, so they had Buffalo Trace White Dog Mash number 1 there. And I couldn't remember if I already bought a bottle of this. I'm hoping that the bottle I have at home, which I keep forgetting to check, is Mash 2. Otherwise, I got 2 of those. But it's very interesting. Like, without the aging of the barrel, you really taste the corn. This is definitely smoother. Even though it's 125 proof, it's definitely smoother than some moonshines I've tasted. So, surprisingly good. What else do I got down here? Okay. Oh, we did go to Heaven Hill. Heaven Hill Distillery. So at Heaven Hill, and this is going to be one we're going to go ahead and crack, and maybe I'll treat it like a neck pour. Oh, so now that Ruin's in the chat, if anyone's local and you know where Izzo's place is, feel free to show up. I don't care. So we'll look at this in a moment. So apparently this Five Brothers, it's distilled by Heaven Hill, and as far as I know, you can only get it at the distillery. And so I got it. I didn't have like super high hopes for it. It's 90 proof. It didn't look special, but it's surprisingly tasty. So I was kind of glad that I got this. All right, but then the other thing at Heaven Hill, so this was like, I don't know if it was a daily special release or if they have these every day. Tiny little barrel. I mean, it's in the shape of a barrel. A lot of times they call these hand grenades or grenades. I don't know, something like that. But let's finally look at this. Let's see what this is. All right, so this is 125 proof Elijah Craig Barrel Select. So I don't know I mean, this is also 124 proof Elijah Craig Barrel Select. So I don't know how it's different from that. This is 130 proof Elijah Craig Barrel Select. So I don't know how this is going to be different, but we're going to crack it and try it. We'll review the neck pour, and then maybe I'll taste one of those and we'll see if there's any difference going on. All right, so I'll clip this later, so we'll pretend it's a real Izzo's Place video. Oh wait, I guess it is. Inception. All right. Hey there, welcome to Izzo's Place. Thirsty Thursdays. Got a neck pour for you. I bought myself a tiny little bottle of Elijah Craig. So it's Elijah Craig Barrel Select, 125 proof. There is not a lot of information on this bottle, so I don't know what to tell you about it. So let's just go ahead and crack it. Oh, and also my buddy Dev T, he said he would never open this if he had bought it. So there you go, Dev. I'm a crazy man. Gotta crack everything. Oh, it's a twist. It's a twist off. You know how I feel about twist offs. Like the cork pop better. Hey there, Adam. How are you doing? Thanks for being here. Adam, I've been so busy. I need to catch up on some of your videos. Adam's got a channel. He does a lot of the theme parks in California. Oh man, that has got some good notes coming off, even without bringing it to my nose. Okay, this might be more special than those. Sorry about that. It's like someone just cooked some fresh buttered popcorn. I'm getting like a little bit of that, but someone else cooked like a cherry pie. I'm getting like that. They're kind of mingling in the nose. So like a lot of corn, a lot of butter, a lot of cherry. Just a little bit of like a barrel char, like a smoke, but not. It's like way in the background. Ooh, that's kind of nice. There's my Kentucky hug. Ooh, good stuff. On the palate, it's mostly caramel. A little bit of cinnamon at the finish. that is a nice pour. Sadly enough, I don't remember what I paid for it, so I will have to editing Izzo will put it in there for you. But yeah, I've never had one of these. I didn't know they existed. They didn't have, I was way too late in the day. If they had any special releases that morning, I missed it. But they had these cute little barrels. There was about 20 of them left, and it was about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I think, when I bought it. And they closed pretty quickly after that, I think. Well, the restaurant closes at 4:30. Gift store price stays open a little bit longer. But that's really good. Like I said, editing Izzo will put the price in. You know, it's not something I can get at home, so I definitely don't regret buying it. That's a fantastic nose. That's a world-class nose. Mostly caramel, little hint of Granny Smith apple, a lot of cinnamon on the back of the palate. Good mouthfeel, decently length finish. Yeah, that thing's pretty cool. All right, wait for the long review. Okay, I'll clip that out. So it definitely, I wish it smelled like whiskey. Like for all the crazy notes that I could pull out of a whiskey, I would just call that potpourri and some smoke. So it's kind of generic. I love the way it looks, and then I love that I'm gonna drink whiskey out of it after the candle's done. So a worthy price, a worthy price. Okay, do I have anything else? Did I get through everything? All right, I got through everything. So the Ruin was on that trip with me. Ruin, what was your favorite part of the trip? Don't go into too many personal details. Oh, that's right. This huge thing is sitting here. So LF Heritage, um, while they are working on expanding their operations, they have other ways, of generating capital. So something they do is they will bottle and label uh, various spirits for other companies. So apparently they do the bottling and labeling for this Bare Bone vodka. It says hand built in Texas with Southern grit. Yeah. Straight talking, hard work, and smooth charcoal filtered vodka. It's 80 proof. And it was only $20 for a regular fifth, but it was only $30 to get a 175. So I went ahead and got the big boy. David, how's it going? It's good to see you. Thanks for being in the chat, buddy. If you feel like driving 3.5 hours, you can join me. I can send you the address. Stream might be done by then though. But yeah, this was surprisingly good. The master distiller said that I can't remember if this is the one. I think they helped whichever company it was. It might have been this company. It might have been one of the other ones that they do. One of the vodka brands that they bottle for, they made a suggestion on changing their mash bill just a little bit, and apparently made the vodka much better. Oh, that's right. When you get a pour at the bar at Wild Turkey, you get a nice little shot glass with a turkey on it to take home. So, it helps. It helps when you pay that price for the shot of whatever you're doing, because they have some of their. When we were there, they didn't have any real fancy releases, but you could get a pour of some of their fancy releases, which I don't know. It's more. It'd be fun to have the fancy releases, but sometimes that gets pricey, so it's nice to get a pour to see if something's worth chasing or not. I feel like it has better legs than normal vodka. I should probably record this as it's not really a neck pour. We'll just review it. All right, so let's get back into presentation mode instead of live stream mode. Oh, of course the audio is not going to be quite as good on these. Oh well, that's right. Hey there, welcome to Izzo's Place. Thirsty Thursday. Well, we shouldn't just always do whiskey. So here we go. We've got a Texas vodka, Bare Bone vodka, hand-built in Texas with Southern grit, straight talking, hard working, smooth charcoal filtered vodka. Sounds good. We should turn it into a song. And the bottle's kind of cool. Like it's got the bull skull printed on the back, so you can see it. Oh, that's fun. There's stuff in there, like and having like stuff in your spirits might make some people nervous, but I just assume that's all flavor crystals. So anyway, but yes, it looks thick. It's only 80 proof. There's nothing unusual there. It's got really good legs, but it is like crazy. If you hate vodka but you like bourbon, you might like this vodka. Yes, that is true. That is true, Adam. It is Friday. It's got neat flavors. There's it's real weird. I don't know what this is made out of. I wonder if it's a potato vodka because I feel like I could taste potato. Premium grain vodka. Nope, it's grains. I don't know. There's something about whatever grains they have in here and whatever they're doing to it. It's like almost a little smoky. It's like there's just a hint of campfire. Like you're not around the fire. The fire's over there and you're heading towards it. Yeah, and then it's almost like there's like a wisp of frosting, like vanilla frosting. There's just this like light sweet going through there, and then just a little bit of the campfire taste. I don't know. It's pretty neat. I'm gonna have to. I need to finally get into cocktails on this channel eventually. But this I feel like could make some really neat cocktails. But anyway, until I get a cocktail video for the bare bones, I don't know where you can get this. I've never seen it in Ohio. I got it at a distillery in Kentucky. But it was $30 for a 175. If you see this, I'd take a shot on it. That's just my opinion. But I'll see you next time you're hanging out at Izzo's place. Okay, thanks for putting up with these neck pours, guys. Let's see. What do we got here? Yeah, LF was awesome. Whiskey Thief was amazing. Barrel tasting. Yeah. Yeah, that's the highlight from each day. That's what I said, Ruin. I agree. Yeah, your sparkling mineral water would go with bourbon. Oh, cool. That would be awesome. That would be awesome, Bill. All right, what else? Okay. I don't know if you're ready for this. We're going to do some Legos. If anyone has any questions about anything, as long as they're PG rated and lower, go ahead and ask away. But what I did, I saw on another channel, I think it was on his Instagram, Whiskey Bonded, and I saw that he found some Lego sets that were whiskey bottles. So we're going to start putting these together. And I don't know how long this live stream will go. I don't know how bored you'll get. We're going to try it and see what happens. So we'll start with Buffalo Trace. So these are not actual Lego brand, of course. I have not opened these yet. Oh, it's got instructions. That's nice. I need to get into cocktails, definitely. I did, so Bill D there, he recommended is it a rusty nail with the Drambuie? So I did sip some Drambuie and made a rusty nail. That was pretty good. So it comes with some decals. So we'll see, and we got the plush Buffalo Trace bottle, but I may as well, I got one back here. May as well pull out. This is what we're going to attempt to make. So, and the Ruin, I will save at least one of these to do with the Big E, because I feel like he may appreciate it. All right, let's see how this goes. If it's too boring, let me know, and we'll change gears. I rarely ever get bored, but I don't want you to get bored with me. This looks like trouble. Okay. Oh, yeah. See, so when you buy a real Lego set, a lot of times the bags are numbered, so you know what to open up first. But this is not official Lego, so I think we just got to open these bags. Start sorting. If it's too boring, I'll time-lapse some other ones another day. All right, I guess I'm just sorting out pieces. So how is everyone doing? Of course, I picked Friday night, a night where people should probably be out enjoying themselves or at home relaxing, and instead, 6 of you poor souls have decided to put Izzo on. So thank you. I appreciate that. Good. Good. I'm glad that he's excited. Oh, sweet. What did you build, Adam? Peaches, welcome back. Thanks for coming in, despite how bad the audio was on that little 7-minute video. Oh, this is going to take forever, kids. This is going to take forever. I was planning on doing like 2 hours. We got another hour and a half. But yeah, happy Friday, Peaches. How is your family today? Anyone got any good weekend plans? Tomorrow I'm going to got some churchy stuff to do. I've got a couple of people I'm going to go visit in the hospital, and then the rest of the weekend is work, work, work. No, I take that back. Going to my in-laws' house in the evening tomorrow. But otherwise, I am doing tons of work. Oh, I'll be on a live stream Sunday, but I don't think it's I don't think it's anything anyone can watch. I'm in a Patreon for another whiskey group, and I'm actually going to be on the live stream with some other patrons, and we're going to be sipping whiskey back and forth. I've never been on one of their patron-to-patron blind flights. So it's Stuff and Whiskey, and they're a whiskey-only channel. I mean, every once in a while there's something else because they are called Stuff and Whiskey. But they're a nice couple. Their channel, like mine, like I try to keep us free of swearing, just so that way you can watch it with your kids, because it's not just alcohol, it's woodworking and goofy stuff. So they keep it clean over there on that channel, and they've got a real nice community of whiskey fans. So I'm in their patrons, so I can get some of their patron picks, the bottles that they pick, and so me and another fellow patron, we were paired up together, and we had to coordinate blind flights for each other. So we each of us picked 5 whiskeys from our collection, and we're going to. I already got his, and he should have got mine today. The Lego Central Train Station, a Lego lifeguard truck. Sweet, that's cool. How big are those? How many pieces roughly? So yeah, I had to pick out 5 whiskeys, and he picked. Actually, let's see, are they in the camera? No, they're not in the camera. There's 5 little samples there that he sent me. But the whiskey community over there is very nice. He actually let me pick 3 other bottles from his collection, just to get a sample of. So I got the 5 samples for the flight, and it's almost like a little game. Like I have to try to pick the one that's from Kentucky. 5 ryes, and I picked the one from Kentucky. So we'll see if Izzo has the chops for that. But I won't tell you a lot. Yeah, I bet Adam. I won't discuss my flight for him, just in case he actually watches. I did not tell him about my live stream tonight. I probably should have. So that's Sunday night, but that's after some church and some work. ADHD Whiskey is going live right now. Too bad, so sad. I'll watch the replay. He's another whiskey tuber I follow. Let's see, did I have any other plans for this? No, I think this was it. Sip a little bit, talk about the trip, put some Legos together, see if you guys had any questions. Thanks for putting me on. I might be in the background while you're doing something else. That's very kind of you. So today, or was it yesterday? Yeah, late last night, I finally, because on Thursday, I tried to release the short video where I do the neck pour, and then the long video afterwards. So like, for 2 weeks I had the neck pour scheduled and forgot to edit the reviews. So I got one of the reviews done yesterday, so I'll get the next one edited for next Thursday. And then I'll try to get back onto something like a schedule. I do have some decent woodworking videos coming up, but just finding time to edit stuff is a struggle. Good thing I don't rely on this to eat. Don't rely on this to eat. You know what? And I meant to do live streams and show pictures from my various trips, so if you guys have questions, I'll break in and answer any questions you have. But let's go back. Let's talk about 2025. So at the beginning of 2025, I got to go do some volunteer work in Jamaica. So I was working on a Kingdom Hall, which is or you might call it just a church, or the building. So I got to go work on a religious building, helping with a remodel. Got to spend 6 weeks in Jamaica. It was amazing. The food was incredible. The whiskey was almost non-existent, but I got into rum a little bit, and that was pretty delicious. All right, so I need 4 little corners. 4 6-piece and 4 8-piece. That's red though. Probably opened up the wrong bag. I think so. Oh, this is gonna take forever. So yeah, I got to go. Ooh, what do we got here? Oh, did I? I'll have to go back and check it out. Do you mean of WDWNT? Gosh, I can't tell you the last time I played with Legos. Used to love Legos as a kid. Oh. Sorry, got to answer a text. Okay. Answered. All right. Bill said I, but then he retracted it. I don't blame him. Okay. What was I talking about? Nice. I'll have to check it out, Adam. I'll be honest, it's been a while since I checked out one of their streams. I'll have to make sure I check out last night's though. All right, what's in? Okay, finally I found one of the first pieces I need. Ooh, there's another one. I need 4 of these. Okay. All right. Before I open another bag, I'm gonna try to look in the bag. This is a silly thing I think I've started, but the only way out is through. So I'm just gonna keep going. And darn the consequences. Oh, okay. Let's see, who was that? David. David, the food was amazing. So, the jerk chicken, incredible. I think maybe curry chicken and goat were probably my favorites, but I ate some cool stuff. Had oxtail. The oxtail was very good. And when I had the oxtail the one time, it was almost like Italian Jamaican fusion, because it was like a Alfredo pasta with oxtail in it. Oh, it was great. The Jamaican patties down there are very delicious. Some of the stranger things I ate is I had pigtail. Basically, it looks like a tiny hot dog with a bone in it. And you pop it in your mouth, you suck the meat off, and you spit out the bone. And you end up doing that. Oh, thank you, Ruin. And you end up doing that a lot because the way that they seem to butcher stuff in Jamaica, a little different than you're used to in America. A lot of little bones. So you're kind of always spitting out little bones as you go. But the stuff was so delicious. And then the other weird thing I ate, second to last day we were there, is I got some chicken foot soup. And I know that probably sounds crazy. So even Mrs. Izzo, she wouldn't eat the chicken foot, but she said it tasted like the best broth, or it was the best chicken broth she'd ever had. So she gave the soup high praise, and then it had vegetables and spices in it and stuff. But man, I saw some of the locals, they would pop the foot in the mouth and suck what little meat was off the bone and spit the bone out. So that was late in the trip. That was the second to last night we were there. So I was kind of into it finally, and eating whatever anyone would put in front of me. And so yeah, and it was pretty tasty. It was weird. It was kind of a little rubbery, a little cartilagey, but it wasn't like, almost had a consistency like a hot dog meat, which I know is like, practically it's like a gross sausage is a hot dog. But I don't know. It was very cool. I did appreciate like eating some of the really local stuff, maybe stuff you wouldn't get if you were on a tour. Let's see, what else? Was there anything else super cool that we had? I'm not super into seafood, so I didn't chase any seafood down. I'm sure that there's some good seafood down there in Jamaica. Oh, we had some Blue Mountain coffee while we were down there, so that was excellent. And it seems, so it's interesting, a lot of the Blue Mountain coffee gets exported out, and Ooh, I found some more of the ones I need. It gets exported out. So like a lot of the locals were drinking instant coffee, and it didn't quite taste like a Lego bag. Oh no, that's okay. I actually have an answer for that though. But let me. It tasted much better than a Lego bag. But let me just finish the coffee thing, and then I'll go on to Bill's question. So a lot of the locals were drinking instant coffee, and like I hate instant coffee, but the way the Jamaicans were making it, it was pretty good. So they would do the instant coffee. They'd put a lot of creamer in it, and not usually even like liquid creamer. It would usually be the powdered creamer. So instant coffee, whole bunch of powdered creamer, whole bunch of sugar, a little bit of salt, and it would taste like a salted caramel coffee. It was really awesome. So they even figured out a way to make instant coffee taste good. I'm probably forgetting some stuff. We got to, and eventually I'll have a live stream where I'll show you some of these pictures. We went up hiking in the Blue Mountains. That was super cool. Like a cloud came over us. Well, it was like sunny at first, and then a cloud swallowed us up as we were going. We got to swim in a bioluminescent bay. And I guess, plenty of places have bioluminescent bays, but I guess the one in Jamaica, because of where it's at and the temperatures year round, I guess it stays active all year round, where it doesn't always stay active in other places. Oops, yeah, I was gonna talk to Bill. And then I'll go back to Jamaica. So there's a single barrel. So early when I was watching ADHD Whiskey, and I joined his Patreon so I could buy bottles from barrels he would pick. He picked one from a distillery called Boulder Spirits in Colorado, and he picked a barrel from there, and he named it the Mountain Goat, and it's just fantastic. It is definitely my all-time favorite whiskey that I've ever tried, I think. And I put it up against a George T. Stagg once, and I don't know who won that fight, but it's called the Mountain Goat. So usually with you got it, Adam. I will make sure I do that. Usually with the patron picks, a lot of times you can only buy one, and I accidentally found a workaround on that bottle only. I've never been able to do it again, but I was actually able to buy 6 bottles of it. So I think I've drank through, and it's been like 3 or 4 years, I think I've drank through 3 of them. So I have 3, I know I have 3 full ones left. I don't have any open ones currently. But then I also, he didn't pick it himself, but he got a lead on another single barrel of the same kind of stuff. And so I bought 2 bottles of that. It is almost as good. So I've got 2 knockoff Mountain Goats that I call them the Mountain Sheep. I got 2 Mountain Sheep that I'm going to drink through before I open any other Mountain Goats. And we'll see how long we can make those last 3 bottles last. I feel like I'm missing part. Oh, there we go. That's the one I needed. Okay. I've found all the parts for the first step. Let's see how many steps there are. Oh, there's 59 steps. Oh, boy. Okay. All right, how do we put these together? I see. Oh, then I need some 2s and 4s of the thicker variety. All right, so let's get this off here. Guys, if this is torture, let me know, and I'll stop. We'll do something else. Because I don't mind it, but it's torture. So that's my favorite whiskey. Cordy, how's it going? We're having a great Friday night. I've been very inconsistent with the channel. I decided it was time for a live stream. So we're just talking all the crazy stuff I've done in the last year and building Lego whiskey bottles at the moment. Cordy has an excellent channel, Cordy in California. So for some more West Coast theme park action. She's also part of Park Streamers. Talked about that earlier when Bob was on. So maybe that is a 6. Okay, so I think I need that. All right, well, let's set these down. So I need... Oh, I needed 2 of those. Okay. Why do I need 4 of these? Because they go like this. Scintillating YouTube content, as I like to say. Maybe now that everything's in here and I can look through them a little quicker, maybe this will help speed things up. All right, so how many of those? I need 4 and 2. Got 2. Okay, back to Jamaica. So Bioluminescent Bay, that was incredible. Hiking in the Blue Mountains, that was incredible. There was a place we went to. I want to say it was called Strawberry Hills, but don't quote me on that. But it's like a resort. We didn't go there to stay, but we went there and we had appetizers and drinks and watched the sunset. That was very beautiful. Oh, Legos. It's been a minute. That's not the right size. What is it? One other weekend, because we would work, so our work, when we were volunteering, our work week was Tuesday through Saturday, and then we had Sunday and Monday off. So one of our weekends, we went to a different spot in the Blue Mountains, and we got to stay in an Airbnb on the edge of a river. And the Airbnb was called the White River Falls Hotel. I don't know if the river was actually called that or if that's just what the hotel was called. And so that was just awesome. The river, there were rapids right behind the hotel. Like, sleeping was wonderful. We went in January, so Jamaica, there are parts of Jamaica that get a little bit cool in January, but the main place we were at is like the sunniest, hottest part of Jamaica. So we were about 40 minutes out of Kingston, and it would get to 95 by noon every day. So a little bit crazy. Not used to working in such heat. I feel like my work in Florida trained me to be able to work a little bit in Jamaica. Let's see what else. So the Airbnb. Oh, and so the Airbnb, the river, beautiful. Sounds like it was clean enough you could drink from it. We did some swimming. We did some hiking. We got to eat some fresh cacao. One of the locals had a spear gun that he built himself. So he caught some fish for us with it. Yeah, the names are messed up right now. Geo 82 cocktails. Ooh, no, I have not been. Those do sound delicious. Can't wait to. Have you tried them, Bill? Do you have a recommendation? I know I saw Pete Carney drinking them one day, and they did sound quite delicious. Let's see, anything else briefly about Jamaica? Oh, we did go tour the Bob Marley house. That was very interesting. I didn't remember how young he was when he died, and all the crazy things he lived through in his 37 years. That was wild. That was very neat to see. And when we were there, see, I can't remember. I can't remember if we were there close to the day he was shot or his birthday. I think it was his birthday. I think we were there almost on his birthday. And so he's got a bunch of kids. And I guess they all come and stay at the house. Like, there's a part of the house that's museum, and there's a part of the house that's livable for any of the kids that want to stay. And so they were gathering for his birthday celebration. So we got to see one of them. I can't remember which one we saw, but boy, he looked just like his old man. It looked like Bob Marley was sitting there at the house. So it was very neat. That was a nice tour. Nice, good work. Good work, Cordy. Boy, I can't. Oh, did I find one finally? I found one. Oh, I have both. Okay, so we can finally finish step 2. All right, let's see here. So it looks like I'm supposed to. Yeah. That goes there. Probably shouldn't build Legos on a lazy Susan, but I'm also not moving it. Here, I thought I was going to get through like several Lego projects. That ain't happening. Forgot how intense Lego work could be. So, Adam, I am making a Lego version of this bottle. It is not an official Lego set. It is a third-party knockoff. But it almost looks like, you know, let me check it out. Let me see if these are actually Legos. They may have bought Legos and then developed the set themselves. We got some branding on here. Or are these fake? I see no branding. I feel like they're fake. So, but yeah, so fake Legos. Oh, okay, interesting. Interesting, Bill. Please say hi to Lynette. I don't know if she's asleep already or not. Okay, interesting. Do we know where the bartender Jimmy is going by any chance? Because I don't think his bar is going to be remaining there. So I need 4 tiny single pieces, 8 regular single pieces, 2 more. Really should get a flashlight. Just can't see in the low level conditions, low lighting levels. The lighting has been reduced for the performance of Lego Spectacular. Please don't move around unnecessarily. Oh, I'm trying not to mumble. Have you guys been hearing me okay? Trying not to mumble. No, that's not it. Who wants to Lego forever? Oh, this is going to take so long. We might have to do like part 2 on another live stream. Cool, thanks, Ruin. All right, so Jamaica, I'm sure there's things I'm forgetting, and eventually I'll do a live stream and show you some actual pictures. I'm not allowed to show pictures of the construction work, just for legal reasons. But I can show you all my personal pictures from the fun we had in between working. But I guess I could tell you about the work. So, when I got my invitation to go help, it was supposed to be for tile work. But they had some crazy weather when the project started that delayed them really bad. So they were still doing some of the demo work when I got there. So I ended up, because I've got fall protection training, I ended up getting into a harness and working on the roof for 4 weeks, which is not my usual MO. But I know my way around a saw and a tape measure, so I was able to be useful to the guys that knew what they were doing. Oh, okay, okay, he's retired. Wow, Jimmy's retired. Jimmy put me to sleep that day, but that wasn't his fault. That was my fault. I wasn't drinking enough water. Oh, looking for the tiny pieces is torture. What was I talking about? Oh, the work. Yeah, so I was on the roof crew for 4 weeks. And then honestly, what crew was I on after the roof? No, I think I was just on different aspects of the roof until the last week. And then finally I was helping to do prep work so that way other people could do tile work after I left. They actually asked me to if I was willing to move the dates I was working, so I could work on the tile crew. But I had already bought the tickets, and I had a job in Georgia that I was going to do right after Jamaica, so I could not change the dates. So I ended up being a framer, roof framer. I was a carpenter, and that's not too far off from what I pretend to be anyway, so it worked out well. So we came back from Jamaica, and I had a job in Georgia for the Fountain Leather Goods store, and but there was red tape going on with that, so I wasn't going to be able to start the job when I wanted to, and the cabinets were getting delivered, and I couldn't change that at all. So I had to fly to Georgia, rent a storage unit, and I was trying to have the delivery company deliver to the storage unit, but they weren't going to be able to deliver until like after that weekend, and I couldn't stay the weekend. The schedule was too tight, so I ended up renting a 26-foot truck and picking up the pallets from the hub myself and taking them to the storage unit. Shout out to Extra Space Storage. I've had only good experiences with them so far. And what's up, Guido? I'm glad you're here, Guido. It's good to see you. So there were 13 pallets worth of cabinet parts. The truck only fit 11 of them. So I picked up 11, drove it to the storage unit, quickly offloaded 2 of them because the delivery hub was only going to stay open for so long, and picked up the other 2 pallets, and then ran back to the delivery unit, and I had to get the truck back to Home Depot by 10 o'clock unless I wanted to rent it another day, which I didn't. So I hand unloaded 13 pallets. Oh, that's kind of funny, Bill. I'm sorry he's haunting you like that. So I had to hand unload 13 pallets of cabinet parts, and after I was done, and I think I'm glad that I didn't notice it till after I was done. After I was done, I was reading the bill of lading, the shipping manifest thing. Like a goof, due to my superior planning and the superior planning of the state of Georgia and Fountain Leather Goods, I had to hand unload 8,000 pounds worth of cabinet parts from a truck to a storage unit by myself. And I got it done, and I got that truck back a half hour early, and then flew to Ohio the next day. And then so then those cabinet parts sat in the storage unit, and honestly, it probably was for the better, because there wasn't a lot of room at the job site. So it probably was better that everything was in a storage unit and I was able to just bring stuff in and put it together and install it as I went. But so like I said, there were delays on that, so that had to sit there. And then I don't know what I did for the next, because then we went to Japan in April for our 25th anniversary. So that was early February. What did I do in February and March? I probably just kept bebopping back and forth between Ohio and Florida, trying to get jobs done in both locations. The ruin was a part of that. We were working on a basement for part of that. I finally finished that basement in the spring sometime. And then finally the work was going to happen in Georgia. But there was a bunch of work that had to be done before I could install the cabinets, and my Japan vacation was coming up. So I ended up working in Georgia for 2 weeks, flying home to, did we fly? Did we drive? Did we fly? We must have drove. So we drove back to Ohio. We had stuff we had to do in Ohio for like a week, and then we got on a plane and went to Japan. So now we can talk about Japan. We've reached April. So the Japan trip started because, like a genius, I went ahead and bought Star Wars Celebration tickets. All I did was buy tickets, Good times. Yeah, that basement was good times. I still need to post a video. Um, so the Japan trip started a year before that. I wanted to go to Star Wars Celebration. Me and a buddy of mine thought it was a great idea. We would buy the tickets and just see what happened. So in over the rest of the year, my friend, well, they had the birth of their first child, and then they had some medical stuff that they had to deal with, and so they were not able to go on the trip with us. So Mrs. Izzo and I'm so busy and distracted all the time. Well, and the ruin knows, with the whiskey trip, I don't plan nothing till it's last minute. And I know I sometimes miss out on things because of those habits, but I don't know, my winging it trips. I'm never disappointed in my winging it trips. So like almost like barely before the trip starts, I'm finally like planning stuff out. Oh, and a friend of ours was. Oh, let me back up. So I was told that if I'm going to Japan, if I spend less than 2 weeks there, I'm an idiot. Because, I mean, you're paying for the flight, you may as well stay for a minute. So we planned on 2 weeks, and a friend of ours who sometimes vacations with us, she invited herself for the back half of the trip, and that was fine. So the back half of the trip was better planned because she kind of took charge with that. So we fly to Japan. So Japan from Cleveland was cheaper than Japan from Florida. So we flew 5.5 hours to San Francisco. Changed planes. Okay, so let me go there for a minute. So not super experienced with international flight, and honestly, all domestic flights, I actively look for nonstop flights. I don't like to do the layovers. So I don't have a lot of experience with layovers. So when the thing said that it had a 57-minute layover, that sounded wonderful to me. And then and they didn't say anything. You got it, Adam. I can do that. 20 cases of water, nice. Well, you got your steps in and some exercise. So when I went to check in, finally, when the trip was finally happening, my ticket said high risk layover. So they warned me when I was ready to get on my flight. They did not warn me when I was purchasing the tickets that it was a high risk thing. So I was very nervous, wondering just like what was going to happen, how we were going to figure out how to get to Japan once we missed our flight. But boy howdy, just like the big guy upstairs must have been smiling on us for some reason. We landed in San Francisco with like 34 minutes. We didn't even have the full 57. We landed with like 34 minutes. The gate we were coming into originally scheduled, we would not have made the flight if we had landed there. But by the time the flight was ready to land, we were landing at a much closer gate. So we were able to hustle off and got to our new gate. We had time for a bathroom break, and that was it. Bathroom break, hit the new gate. They were boarding the flight when we got to the gate, but they weren't quite to our cheap seat zone yet. So we got to hang out for about 5 minutes at the gate, and then we got loaded onto the plane. And somehow our luggage actually made it with us, which seemed impossible to me. I thought for sure we were going to lose luggage, but that was very nerve-wracking. And then from San Francisco to Tokyo. Oh, there you go. Cool. Yeah, I won't tell anyone, Adam, but I look forward to the video. Where was I? Oh, so 10.5 hours to Tokyo. But through different poor decisions and mismanagement, Mrs. Izzo accidentally spilled a glass of wine in my lap. So I was wet and whiny through most of the trip to Tokyo. It was interesting. So we get to Tokyo, we land. Customs is a slight nightmare, but not terrible. And what we did there, instead of getting an international phone plan, is we rented a Wi-Fi hotspot for the 2 weeks. So that way we could at least use our phone. We could call people through WhatsApp if we needed. And so we finally got that together. And in Japan, I don't know how Google Maps is, but the Apple Maps was fairly good with the public transportation system because we didn't rent a car or anything. So a little bit of stumbling at first, but we finally figure out which bus we need to be on, and 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 I figure out what Apple Maps is telling me. So we bus ride, and we have one changeover to a different bus. And so we get off the bus, and we can either, or excuse me, bus to train. And at the train station, we could either get another bus or we could walk. If we could have taken the bus, we would have had a 4-minute walk, or we could just walk for 15 minutes and we're at our place. And so, both of us are tired and slightly jet lagged, and so we just decided to walk it. So we, the first turn, like you're in Tokyo, so like most of Tokyo, there's the bay there, so you get a lot of wind coming off the bay. So we each have our carry-on and our regular luggage. It has wheels, and then we each have a backpack, and we're just walking into the wind. So like the wind is trying to defeat us as we're walking. So we walk up one main street, it's very windy, then we turn, it's not as windy there, and then we turn for the last little stretch of the walk, and it looks like we're walking into like an industrial fishing wharf area. And nothing rattles me, so I'm just like walking, just confident. I'm just like, yeah, we're doing this. And Mrs. Izzo was getting ready to slaughter me. No, I take that back. She was worried that we had gotten scammed on the hotel, and she wasn't mad at me. She was worried we had gotten scammed. But we're getting close, and I tell her, I'm like, okay, around this corner should be our hotel, and she is utterly convinced that we're gonna just turn the corner and there's gonna be like a fish butchery or something. I don't know what was in her head, but we turned the corner. The hotel's actually there. Japan was neat. There was a lot of the people spoke English, and the few that didn't were very quick with Google Translate, and so we got real familiar with Google Translate. The Ruin, good night, Ruin. Thanks for being here. Good night, Big E, and good night, the Ruin's wife. I hope I was on your big TV for a while. So where was I? The language. Oh, so a lot of the people spoke English, and the few that didn't were very quick with Google Translate. So the first hotel we were at, they did not speak English, and so we Google translated our way through checking in, and we went up to our hotel room, and quite a few of the Japan hotels like gave you a robe and slippers, and like every night, and toiletries every night, and it almost seemed like they were offended if you wouldn't use them or accept them. So it was really, really polite, really clean, really efficient society. It was very neat. Italy still wins out on places I could live. Like I would, if I could figure out how to move to Italy, I would be there in a heartbeat. It's not happening right now. Japan, I could live in Japan. I don't know if I don't have like the same desire to move to Japan as I have this desire to move to Italy. But I could, if Mrs. Izzo found us an opportunity, I could definitely roll with Japan. I would love that, Adam, if you wouldn't mind doing that. And I assume you're going to send it to the Discord. But yeah, I could live in Japan, although it wouldn't be my first choice. And then, well, and even honestly, even Jamaica. Now, granted, we were with some locals. They took very good care of us. I'm sure that there's places possibly dangerous for people that don't know what they're doing to go to in Jamaica, but Jamaica was really cool. Like the heat in Jamaica would defeat me, I think. Japan, at least, they have winter. At least parts of Japan has winter like I'm used to with snow. Italy has winter. Jamaica doesn't have no winter. So unless I'm living up in the mountains, I don't know if I could survive Jamaica long term. I struggle with Florida, to be honest with you, when I'm down there. Ooh, am I frozen? No, okay, never mind. Doesn't look like I'm frozen. Yeah, I don't think my video quality is very great, but my signal's not great, and I don't pay for extra service, so that's probably why. Yeah, I could survive in Jamaica as long as I could live in the mountains, where it's a little bit cooler. And then those are the only foreign countries I've been to. Well, I've been to Canada, but Canada just feels like America's hat, so it doesn't feel like you're in a foreign country there. At least it didn't to me the last time I was there. I really can't find all these parts. Let me grab my little flashlight because I just can't see the pictures too well. Ooh. Okay, does that help at all? Oh, all right. Yeah, that helps. The pictures are so dark. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. No wonder I couldn't find the parts I was looking for. All right, so I need 8 of these. One. Oop, wait, hold on. No, not that one. Where was I? What was I talking about? Places to live. All right, so the Star Wars convention was really fun. Now, cool. Thank you, Adam. I will check it out later. So I'll just be straight up honest with you. I'm not a super fan of where Star Wars is at right now. The writing, well, the writing on Andor was exquisite, but a lot of the shows, the writing's been lackluster. The acting hasn't been great. I did like Skeleton Crew. If you haven't seen that, I kind of like that one. But Star Wars has been hit or miss, but it was really fun being at the show. It was neat seeing people in cosplays. Even Mrs. Izzo and I, we did some very light cosplaying. We didn't have very elaborate costumes. The one day I was like dressed like Han Solo, but like I was a knockoff Han Solo, so I called myself Ham Sandwich. And Mrs. Izzo dressed as a random Jedi, and then she doesn't like me. She doesn't want any digital footprint, so I can't really talk about her costume too much. So never mind. But we got to meet really neat people. There was a surprising number of Americans there. There was people from Australia that we met. A lot of people from Brazil even. 1, 2, 3. So it was very fun. Now, because of my poor planning in advance, we didn't get into any cool panels or anything. Yeah, I mentioned. I think it was Bill. I'm glad you survived it. And then of course Tom F. Tom F. is a Floridian. He's hardened to that. He can survive anything. Where was I? Star Wars. Oh yeah, so there was a lot of neat people. Oh, that's right, panels. So I didn't plan ahead well enough, so like none of the panels were available. So we didn't go to any panels. So we hung out a lot near the live stage, and actually the live stage was very fun. And a lot of times the actors, when they were done with the panels, would come out to the live stage and get other interviews and things. So if you were watching the live stream, and you could always go back and watch, we had a Star Wars plush with us. It was from the Bad Batch cartoon, and so it was like a little cat-looking thing. And so Mrs. Izzo kept holding it up whenever the camera was like behind us. So, and she was like having the doll like kind of react to whatever was being interviewed on the stage. So if you go back and watch the Star Wars Celebration live feed, and you see the plush animal, that's Mrs. Izzo holding it up. So that was kind of fun. They had neat food, but we only waited in the line for that one day because it was like an hour and a half line to get this food, and like it was different Japanese foods, but they were done in a Star Wars theme. Like the one noodle thing it was like shaped like Chewbacca on the tray, and like it had like a seaweed bandolier for going across it. So they had some neat stuff, but some of it just wasn't worth waiting for. They had awesome food trucks outside. So the other 2 days, we got stuff from the food trucks and had a wonderful time. Let's see what else. The second day, we spent 5.5 hours in a merch line, and there was no way around it. And that was the only thing that disappointed me about the way they did it is I felt they needed to put a big projection screen up and at least play the live stage for the people that were stuck in that queue. Oh no, I just said you're a super Florida man. You know, you can handle the heat. You're in there, man. You got that. That's all. So yeah, 5.5 hours in a queue. Actually, that I did get this. Well, you can't see it in the screen right now, but sometimes in my videos you can see a paper lantern Death Star above my head. So I got that in Japan. Got some T-shirts. Got a coffee mug for a buddy of mine. All right, let's see. Day 3. Anything special on day 3? Day 3 was the shortest. Nothing special. The first day of the convention, on our way home, we stopped at a really cute-looking Japanese restaurant, and only one of the wait staff could speak English. But it was like her family's restaurant, and she had gone away to school, so she was like the current owner and manager. So we had a really nice time there, and he had to use the Google Translate to read the menu, and every piece of beef I had in Japan was incredible. They have a pretty intense beef culture there in Japan. So if you're into beef, I didn't have a bad meal anytime I got any kind of meat. I just need 2 more of those little things, and then we can finally do step 3. All right, so convention is over. So convention's over. So our next stop is Osaka. So we go to Osaka, and the first thing we do we do it on our travel day? So we started pretty early, took a bullet train. Bullet trains were sweet. We go to Osaka. We take a bus to a tiny little theme park that is like half Godzilla and half Naruto and half Dragon Quest video game. So I know that's 3 halves. I know that doesn't work, but it was this cute little theme park, and we ziplined into Godzilla's mouth, and well, I guess technically kind of out his butt. But it was fun. And then they had this silly little shooting game. After you did the zip line, you had to do this shooting game because you were trying to keep Godzilla frozen, because it was Shin Godzilla from the 2016 movie, and so that was fun. And then Godzilla. Then I think on Tuesday we went to Hiroshima, and we toured the museum, and that's sobering, and it just, it's a bit of history that, it happened, and hopefully we learn from it. And, the rightness or wrongness is a question bigger than me, and only God can sort it out. But it was fascinating seeing that bit of history and seeing the city so alive. The city just felt alive. So we had an awesome dinner there. There was this crazy huge open air mall we went to. So we toured the city a little bit. It was raining, so we couldn't do too much. So then headed back to Osaka for the night, and then the day after Hiroshima, we went to Universal Studios Osaka, and let me tell you, the theme parks in Japan are cheaper and cleaner and better and run better than the American parks. I don't think it'd take a lot for me. It'd take some sort of discount, like scoring a discount for me to go back to Walt Disney World, honestly, because it's so expensive and it's run down compared to Japan. The Japan tickets for Disney and Universal were like $45 a day. It's crazy. So now Epic Universe has opened up in Florida, and I am gonna go see that. But we got to sample Super Nintendo Land in Japan before Epic opened. So I've been on those rides. So it'll be neat to see if there's any difference at all when I get to ride them in Orlando. So Osaka. So coming back towards Tokyo for the back half of the trip, we stopped at Hakone, which is kind of like, it's within sight of Mount Fuji. It's like in the mountains near Mount Fuji. It's kind of like a national park almost. So the lady that joined us for the rest of our trip, she had booked a hotel with a spa, that the spa faced Mount Fuji. Oh, I know. It looks so good. It looks so good, Tom. I'm going to go there with you sometime. We'll plan it out sometime this winter. the spa faced the natural hot spring volcanic spa faced Mount Fuji, but it's a traditional Japanese spa. So that means ladies and gents are separate, and you are naked, and you have to scrub down before you get into the spa. So I don't have any fears left. I can do anything now. There's about 12 or 14 people that are probably afraid of whatever wolf man entered the spa, but that's their problem. But so yeah, so I had to disrobe and scrub down and get in the spa. It was awesome though. It was worth it. The view was incredible. Oh my goodness. So there's that. And then so if you're ever planning your Japanese trip, if you're not willing to do something like that, I mean the only thing that made it worth it was the view of Mount Fuji. Like, so, well, I mean, honestly, by the time it was done, I was over my embarrassment and didn't care. You just don't make eye contact with anyone. That's all. Just no eye contact. Yes, that sounds great, Tom. All right, so they also have like a neat gondola system over the mountains and then down to a lake, Lake Hakone. So we got tickets that let us access the gondolas so we could go back and forth through the area. And then also when the gondola took you down to the lake, there were 2 ferry boats. But it's so funny. They were ferry boats, but they were decorated like pirate ships. So we got on these ferry boat pirate ships, and we toured the lake, and they had different stops, and you could see different shrines. So we stopped in towards some of the popular shrines. I found it. So that might have been like the dirtiest spot I saw in Japan. Is I found this dirty old liquor store that really didn't look like a liquor store, and it smelled like smoke. But they did have a couple of bottles of liquor on the shelf, so I got some old Suntory whiskey, and I still haven't cracked it. That'll be a neck pour some other time. I don't know. Maybe we'll do that later before the Japan talk is done. But I paid $17 for it there, and you can't find it here in the States. And to find it and have it shipped over makes it really expensive. So I hope it tastes good, but I haven't cracked it yet. Maybe we'll do that before this. I just need one more piece. You know what? I'm gonna start putting step 3 together. When I start getting it together, then I'll look for the last couple parts. All right. So feels like. Oh. Okay. All right. Hold on. Oh, I see what you're doing to me. Okay. Okay, so it wasn't these 4 parts. We'll set those aside. But there's plenty of these. So it's these little blank pieces. Go on there. Where were we? Liquor store, Hakone. So part of the gondola system took us over an active sulfur volcano. Oh, there we go. That's a cool point. So went over an active sulfur volcano. This is like a 3-day Lego project, isn't it? So that was cool to see the sulfur coming out, see the steam rising up. So a little local delicacy that they do is they hard boil eggs on the sulfur vents. And you might think, eggs hard boiled in sulfur sounds like the grossest thing I could ever think of. But actually, so the shells were brown and were a dark brown, and the egg inside was like a medium brown. And boy, it tasted like smoky bacon. That was a surprise. I was nervous getting ready to eat it, but it ended up being really good. So sulfur hard-boiled eggs from a Japanese volcano. Highly recommend. Highly recommend that. We never made it to Mount Fuji. We were in view. If we ever do a Japan trip again, so most of what we did, except for Hakone, was very urban. We were in Tokyo. We were in Osaka. And next, if I ever make it to Japan again, I want to get into the country a bit more. I would like to go to Mount Fuji and see what other more native stuff that Japan has to offer. Every ramen dish we had was glorious, and found out that slurping is is socially acceptable. All right, so where's this going? Okay, so this one goes here. This one goes across from it. Oh, and then I actually was only supposed to put 4 of those together like that. So now I gotta try and come good. Got that off. Okay, so Hakone. Hakone's done. So after Hakone, we went back to Tokyo. Mrs. Izzo and her friend are not as into the Disney parks as I am. You could almost say was. No, I'd go back to Japan parks any day, any night. They were incredible. But they wanted to go with me to a Disney park, so that way, they could say that they could experience. So I suggested that they go to Disney Sea with me. Disney Sea was incredible. So the 3 of us went to Disney Sea together. So you go to Epcot Center, for those of you that have been, you go to Epcot Center and you got the pavilions. And the pavilions give you like a tiny little taste of what the country is. But I've been to Italy, so when I go to the Italian pavilion at Epcot, besides the joke that the food is bad at the food festivals, it doesn't feel like Italy to me, because I've been there. It has hints of Italy, but man, Mediterranean Harbor at Disney Sea. If I kind of like didn't think about the other lands that I could see across the bay, it felt like I was back in Italy. It felt like I was in Venice, and they even have a gondola ride there at that place. But no, everything ran well. Oh yeah, that's right. So I am very anti-Lightning Lane here in the States, but since that ticket to get in was $45, I did buy Lightning Lane for a couple of the rides just to make sure that I got on everything I could, and even that was so inexpensive compared to the U.S. parks. Japan was amazing. All right, you know what? I think I need to start. There's one little part that is very similar to the part I'm looking for. I think I need to start setting them aside, or I'm never going to find the parts I need. So Tokyo Sea, very cool, highly recommend. Then the next day, Mrs. Izzo and her friend, our friend, they kind of toured Tokyo and did some fun stuff. And I went to Disneyland by myself. So Disneyland, it was a little bit of a bummer that some stuff was closed for maintenance, but on the other hand, the reason their parks are running so good is you got to close things for maintenance sometimes. That's fine. So I couldn't go on Pirates, but fortunately Pirates is a clone of Anaheim's, so I'm not really missing anything there. I'll go to Disneyland here in the States eventually, just because I've never been there and I need to see the park that Walt walked in. So I didn't miss out really on Pirates because I'll be able to see the Anaheim one. What else was closed? Oh, I went on the Jungle Cruise. I didn't understand a word the skipper was saying, but I just had to go just for fun. And so I enjoyed it, even though I didn't enjoy it the way the Japanese were enjoying it. The Tiki Room has Stitch in it, and the Stitch animatronic is very good. And even not knowing Japanese, it was easy to follow along what was going on. And the one with Stitch, so hot take, I didn't mind when they redid Tiki Room under new management. I didn't mind that. A lot of people didn't like that. Eventually, one of the animatronics caught fire, and then they restored it to what it used to be. But I was not against Tiki Birds under new management in Orlando. So to see the Stitch animatronic, it didn't bother me. It was a fun little show. You got to hear the songs from Lilo and Stitch. Those are some good songs, so it didn't bother me at all. I know everyone's wondering, 70th anniversary is running until summer. Oh, okay. Good to know, Adam. Thank you for that. Yeah, and I will definitely, should I finally make it out to California, I will contact you, Adam, and we will have to get together at some point. Let's see, what else was closed? Swiss Family Treehouse was closed. And there was, in Space Mountain, they demoed it completely and were rebuilding something. I suspect they're going to build something that works like Guardians of the Galaxy in Orlando. I don't know that. I don't have any insider. It's just my gut. So that was closed. But I went on the train, Jungle Cruise, Tiki Room. I went on Splash Mountain 6 times. So when Splash Mountain closed in Orlando, a few months before it closed, I got to go to the park, and I rode it, and I was planning on like riding it all day just to take it in before it changed. And it was in such bad repair. I went on it once, and I couldn't go on it again. And so to be able to go on Splash Mountain again and have everything actually work was incredible. I do have some recordings. I have issues with phone storage, and I've got photos on 4 different devices, and I never have time to like sit down and do stuff like this. So I need to eventually, I probably just need to temporarily buy a bunch of cloud from Apple, throw everything into the cloud, then I can start posting stuff again. But yeah, Splash Mountain was a beautiful shape. Everything worked. It was beautiful. Let's see what else stood out. The beauty in the okay, so yeah. So let's go back a day. So Disney Sea, I got to ride the fun stuff at Fantasy Springs. So the Tangled ride is great. The Frozen ride is great. The Peter Pan ride. So I'm a pretty I don't wear it on my sleeve, but I'm a pretty big Peter Pan fan. And I don't normally get emotional for rides or shows, but even though it was in Japanese, that new Peter Pan ride kind of almost caught me to tears. Like, it was just very good. And then back to Disneyland. The fancy one at Disneyland, the newer one is the Beauty and the Beast. That thing is excellent. It was such a good ride. Oh, what else? And then, so the day after Disneyland, I think that was our last day. So I think we toured the Imperial Gardens one more time, and then we got ourselves back to our flight and came home. No real incidents on the way home. Okay, one more part, and then step 3 is done. Step 3 of 59. Oh, there we go. There it is. Okay, so pulling these other ones out was a good plan. Okay, step 3 is done. All right, what do you want step 4? All right, put flat stuff on all the surfaces that need flat stuff. Okay. Okay, so then we flew back. So that's Japan. So then Japan, we fly back, and then probably got, and then the whole, so somewhere in that mess is me and Tom's adventure with the guitar case. So like I'm barely picking at that guitar case in between all this other nonsense that I'm doing. So we have to go back to Georgia. No, that's not it. It needs it to be 4 across, not 3. But let's set that out. There's one of them. 1. So go back to Georgia, spend like 2.5 weeks there, and get that store open. And then I don't remember if we had to drive back to Ohio. Most of the year is a blur, honestly. I don't remember if we drove back to Ohio or if we went to Florida from that point. I think we went to Florida because then I think it was time to fully lean in and work on that guitar case. And I should have been more communicative with Tom as we went. But the end result, we were pretty happy with, especially with Tom helping me at the end at his house. That was fun, Tom. Thanks for thinking of that. Thanks for thinking of me. Nice tab. It's nice to see your tab, C. I am regaling people with such exciting 4 a.m. night. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. I am regaling people with my insanity from the last year, Tabitha. You just missed Tokyo Disneyland. Let's see. Where was I? Madness. So we did the guitar thing, and then thank goodness we got the guitar together. And then those losers at UPS didn't protect the guitar enough. And like, we trusted them. We should have packed it ourselves. We know better in case we ever do anything like that again. But the case got slightly damaged on its way out. Fortunately, the guitar did not. That would have been the real tragedy. But so the case did its job. So I got to say I'm proud of the case. It did its job. And then the guitar got out there. The case was slightly damaged, but honestly, since I made it in the shape of a pirate chest, it kind of helped out with the look. So, and I'd be lying if I didn't say there was a little ulterior motive. And I wasn't thinking about shipping and damage. I was worried about, I had never built anything like that. So I wasn't positive I could make a perfect looking guitar case. So I needed to make something that looked a little bit old. Right? Yeah, absolutely, Tom. In my opinion, case easily replaceable, especially since we'd already built one once. The guitar, no way. No way. Okay, I think I just got done with step 4. Hey, we're moving, guys, now. Oh, no. Now what? Okay. All right, so it needs a 4-1 with front and top. And if anyone's bored of this, I don't know. But I don't know what else am I gonna do? I can drink whiskey in front of you. That's exciting for everyone. Speaking of which, need a sip of something. That's that little grenade. That's a good little. Oh, you know what? That's right. All right, we'll take a break from Legos just for a second. I just want to put it up against one of these other Elijah Craigs. This one is the closest in proof to it. So I'll see how it compares. Oops, no. Dummy, there's vodka in that one. Okay. Oh my, yes, this little tiny bottle is much more special than that. But you know what? Actually, let's go ahead and go back to Legos. I'm going to let these sit out because that one's been sitting and opening up. This one has not had a chance to. So we'll go back to step 5. See, that's confusing there. That is confusing, people. Because it's like they're having me put different parts on. I think that's just a typo. Okay. So I need 4 wide ones. Okay, then I flew back. Then we made a guitar case. What's after that? And then I think life got relatively normal. I've been in Ohio since then. So ever since we got the guitar case done, I've been in Ohio. I'm just trying to do little jobs for now, not doing anything big. Because in a couple weeks I go back to Florida for a while. So what did I do in Ohio? I put some trim and painted a small office. I'm working on cabinets for 2 different people. Working on cabinets. So the one set of cabinets, bookshelf, and bookshelf on one side, bookshelf and desk on the other. And then making a tiny little custom kitchen cabinet to fit in a weird space in their kitchen that they couldn't get anyone else to make a cabinet for. Like at the house where my apartment is up here in Ohio, I replaced a lot of rotten wood around the house, some of the siding, some of the trim, and I replaced it with AZAC, with the plastic stuff. And then we hired someone to paint the house. So the house is looking real nice. All right, maybe they're lying to me. Maybe those pieces don't exist, and I just need to double up those pieces. What else? Anything else? I don't know. I think I caught you up for this year. But what I didn't talk about, so I started in January. So let's go back all the way to last September. We got to do a road trip. My in-laws were celebrating their 50th anniversary, and they wanted to celebrate it in Napa Valley in California. And so the rest of the family flew out like normal people, and me and Mrs. Izzo, we decided to get in our car and drive. So we did a 3-week-long road trip. So 1 week out, 1 week in California, 1 week back. So we saw some super cool things, like the biggest ball of twine in America, or maybe the world, I don't remember. We saw the biggest ball of paint in the world. We got like the highlights tour of 11 different national parks. And sometimes all we would do is roll in, take a couple pictures, go to the gift store, and leave. We stayed a little bit. Did we stay in Grand Canyon? We stayed a little bit at Grand Canyon. That was amazing. We stayed a little bit at Mesa Verde. That was crazy. I would like to go back to Mesa Verde. What else was fun on the way out? What else did we do? Mesa Verde, Four Corners, some Navajo stuff. Great sand dunes. Yes, great sand dunes. Drove through Donner Pass. If you don't know what Donner Pass is, or the history of the Donner Party, that's some disturbing history. Like, yeah. So Google it at your own risk. We're gonna try to stop at theme parks. It never quite manifested, unfortunately. Met up with the family, hung out in Napa for a week. When we left, we hit Alcatraz, and and Bob and Cordy will be upset, or maybe Adam too. I probably drove real close to them. We went down to Route 66 and then drove back, mostly along Route 66. But then we did dive into Texas for a while. So we saw Roadkill Cafe. We saw, well, we stopped at some other national parks. Did we stop at Yosemite? It was very brief, but I think we stopped at Yosemite. Man, it's all a blur. But on Route 66, Roadkill Cafe, Cadillac Ranch. Like I said, we did dive into Texas, dive down off of Route 66. We went to, what's the alien place? Why am I blanking out on the alien place? Not Area 51, Roswell, New Mexico. So we hit Roswell, then we ended up in Texas somehow we hit Carlsbad Caverns, is that right? I think that's what we did. And another national park while we were down there. Then headed back up. And so the last night of our trip back before we got to Ohio finally, the last day we were doing a tour of Maker's Mark in Kentucky. And the hotel that we had booked didn't have 24-hour check-in. And they were real rude and wouldn't do anything to help us out. So we lost our money on that. And because we lost our money on that, Mrs. Izzo was real stubborn and refused to get another hotel room. So we slept in a Walmart parking lot before going into Maker's Mark. So that was entertaining. But then the Maker's Mark trip, and then made it back to Ohio. But that, so a little strapped for cash right now because we did so much traveling in the last 12 months. But each trip was worth it, I think. And so I'm gonna have to work hard for a bit and get those bills back down. But boy howdy, that was so cool to see different countries and to see so much of America. What a beautiful country. It was very cool. I thought for some reason I was going to be able to put multiple sets together. I don't even know what I was thinking. Silly boy. Alright, this has sat long enough. Let me go ahead. So this is the regular Elijah Craig barrel proof. This is the one I picked up at Heaven Hill. It's technically Elijah Craig barrel proof, but there's something fancy about it. Wow. Okay, now that this is sat, this is closer to a contender, but this is still, excuse me, this is still nicer. I don't know, it's just, it smells richer. All right, let's see what the palate is. That is absolutely correct, the Tab C. Not getting double dipped. And she left a snarky but polite review. Does that even work? Snarky but polite? Firm but polite? Maybe firm but polite review. So that way other people wouldn't get snookered. Yeah, the barrel they used for this little guy, definitely a little more refined, a little richer tasting. But honestly, could be because I know what I'm drinking. So what I'll have to do is I'll have to blind it eventually, so that way I don't know which one I'm drinking at a given time, and then we'll see. Then we'll see if that guy's really better or not. Oh my goodness, why can't I find these pieces that they want me to find? Well, I'm learning a great lesson here. I'm learning that should I ever want to do this on YouTube again, I will actually pre-open the bags and I will sort all the pieces before I even hit the camera on. Because this is scintillating YouTube content. Scintillating. You keep using that word. I do not think it means what you think it means. Well, I'm very grateful to those of you that have hung out. Very kind, very kind. Gripping the edge of my seat. I don't blame you. I don't blame you. Yeah, so if I ever do this again, like I might, I don't know, what do you think, time lapse? I mean, it's something to do while I'm talking, but I don't know how entertaining it is. Hopefully the stories were entertaining, even if the Lego isn't. Yeah, how many bottles, how many different ones did I buy? So I bought the Buffalo Trace. And I have two other ones. Like I have one that's just generic champagne bottle with flutes, and just for kicks at a Dollar General, I bought like a retro camera one. Let's see, what else did I get? So I got a Jim Beam bottle, so it should look similar to this, but the white label. What's this one? Maker's Mark. Wild Turkey 101. Which one is this one? I cannot see this one. I can't see the label. This one is Woodford Reserve. No, unfortunately. I've got 4 or 5, maybe even 6 of these. So don't worry. I won't torture you guys on a live stream again like that. Unless I have good stories to go with it. Nice. Yep. Oh, cool. I'll probably kill this in 10 minutes or so. Maybe I'll follow you over there and watch. That sounds good. 4th rum and coke. Sounds delicious. I do need to get more rum on my channel. Just want to finish one more step before. All right, let me look at this again. All right, so yeah, I'm thinking that it needs to be. So I think I have enough to do 1/2 of this next step. So I think that goes there. I think this goes here, and then the little face plate goes on it. So I think that's correct. But I'm having trouble locating the rest of what I need for that, if I'm correct in that. For rum and cokes, you're gonna be banning everyone. Just kidding. Tom is a very good wrench. Well, and who knows? I mean, because it's not a perfect world. Even in a Lego set, sometimes you don't get all the parts. But part of me is wondering, how many missing parts are there in these third-party Walmart sets that I'm buying? How many? Boy, I just can't find 2 more of those. I could put. Well, no, those aren't correct either. I still think about that alcoholic butterbeer you made me, Tom. That thing was amazing. Alright, apparently I'm not going to be able to move forward with this unless I sort all the parts, because I just can't find those parts I'm looking. Oh, hold on. Nope, that's not it. Yep, I'm going to have to sort them. Getting better at making those. I was impressed with what you made already. So I don't know how quickly it's going to be able to happen, but there is a chance that I might be able to move my shop. But the place where I would move this shop needs a massive power upgrade. But it would be a lot more convenient to where I live. So it's something I got to think about. Like anything I'm building in here, I'm a renter, so I've been building it with the thought of I would have to move it someday anyway. But it might make me put a pause on doing any more improvements here until I know what direction I'm going. But I'm too busy to work on my personal stuff right now anyway, so I guess it doesn't really matter in the long run. But yeah, so there might be a change. Izzo's place might move, but I am the only key component of Izzo's place, so it don't matter. But yeah, with the channel, I'm going to try to do a little better about consistent content, because I mean that's what YouTube wants anyway. I mean, well, and it's not like I get any benefit. I'm not monetized. I won't be monetized for a while, if ever. If I get my schedule under a little more control, I might set up a Patreon. But even then, it's going to be a pretty cheap Patreon, because I don't know if I have the time to do any high stakes Patreon stuff. I will say that barrel tasting experience was amazing, and I will be. Oop. Isn't it the Izzos we met along the way? That's great. That barrel picking experience went pretty well. Depending on how it goes with the retailer, like if I don't end up like losing my butt and like owning 40 cases of Eagle Rare, which I don't think I do. I think I have enough people interested in the whiskey that I think I can sell basically the whole barrel. I am really interested in doing like one a year, one every other year. I don't want to go crazy. Some of these YouTubers are doing like 17, 24 picks a year. I'm happy with one, but I am interested in figuring that out and doing some of that stuff. So we'll see. We'll see, but that's next year. That's next year's problem. Honestly, there's a I now own 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I now own 10 bottles from a Columbus distillery, Middle West Spirits. They make really good stuff. I've been very impressed with them. And since they are in Columbus, that's only 2 hours away from my northern home, I may try to hit them up to see if they've got a barrel program and how I might go about doing that. They've got some really nice stuff. They make a rye out of dark pumpernickel rye. It's fantastic. So that would be neat to chase that. They make a really good wheat whiskey too. Either one would be a nice barrel to have, either a dark pumpernickel or a wheat whiskey. But who knows? I just gotta. So this year I had to get an extension on my taxes because I wasn't, with all the nonsense this spring, I wasn't going to get my taxes done in time. So even getting them done even getting them done 2 days ago was a struggle, but we made it. So that was a nice relief, and it was just such a crazy year. And even though we still have a couple more months, I don't know, somehow because the taxes were so late because of the extension, it feels like the year's over, even though we're just in October. My friends, it's 10:28. I'm going to go. We're going to cut this off at 10:30. Thanks so much for hanging out. I am honored. Even if all you did was put me on in the background and just barely listen out for when I would say your name. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. It was fun being on the live stream with you again. It's been a long time since I did. So I will try to get more aspects of the woodworking. I'll get a little more woodworking in. The whiskey's the easier videos to make, but I'm more proud. I think I'm more proud of the woodworking videos, but the whiskey ones are so easy to make. So I will try to have the content be a little more steady, but I can't make any promises. I'm just going to try to do my best. You got it. I will. Well, she's already asleep, so I will do that in the morning. But absolutely the tab C. And thank you, Tom. Thanks for being a magnificent wrench for me. I am proud to have wrenched you. You do good work. So, my friends, if you're working, work safely. If you're drinking whiskey or any kind of spirits or alcohol, please drink responsibly. But do everything with a little bit of whimsy, even if it's annoying Lego sets on a live stream. And you're going to have a good time. And I'll see you next time you're hanging out at Izzo's place. Oh, I should get a remote. So many things I should get. I should also not forget my microphone next time. Oh, you know what? Just for fun, Tom, I'm gonna show you my setup for how I shut the fridge off, because I'm not moving the fridge every time I need to live stream. So what I did is I moved it once, and I put a power strip. I put a power strip here, so I turned it off. Now I can just. Oops! Oh boy! There we go. And now the fridge is back on. Thanks, guys. Good night. Love you all. Ooh, Adam's broadcasting twice this weekend. I will keep an eye out for you. End stream.